Thanks for staying with us. Several thousand of Muslims across Ethiopia in recent days have protested against the burning of 4 mosques in the Amhara region. The attacks last Friday in Mota town, more than 350 kilometers north of the capital Addis Ababa, also targeted Muslim-owned businesses. Muslims have called for the perpetrators to be brought to justice. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed had called the attacks attempts by extremists to break down our rich history of religious tolerance and coexistence. Recent ethnic-based unrest in some parts of the country has at times taken religious form. Amhara regional officials say they have arrested 15 suspects in connection with the attacks. Police Commander Jamal Mekonnen told state media the attacks appeared to be triggered by news of a fire that broke out in an Orthodox church a few days earlier. Regional officials were criticized for their slow response and their inability to stop similar attacks. Now, back here in Nigeria, a lack of basic amenities has not stopped residents of Godape, a village in Nasarawa State, from observing their yearly Christmas dance. In the spirit of the season, the villagers, known for making their own local brew, used the occasion to highlight some of the challenges facing the community. These include the need for a pedestrian bridge to prevent residents getting knocked down while crossing the highway, pipe-borne water, and a secondary health facility. Our correspondent Kayla Megwa reports.
The mostly Gbagi-dominated town of Godape in Nasarawa State religiously hosts a yearly Christmas party right in front of the palace of the village head. The village is known for its local brew made by women, and this batch has been cooking for a few days now in preparation for the Christmas celebrations.
So what's your own?
We drink and celebrate Christmas. What we do, cook them, and some people they come some villages and drink it.
All for this Christmas?
Yes.
Since it is Christmas, a lot of the villagers have been in church since 8 a.m., including the village head, who attends the Christmas service at this Ekwa church right across the road from his palace. The 6-hour service finally ends, and he, along with his chiefs, head back to the palace, where he calls for help for his people. He tells us at least one person is knocked down on the highway every week.
There are several people living here. We appeal to the state governor to assist in building a pedestrian bridge across the highway.
And then it is time for the yearly Christmas dance.
While the citizens of our Taba Alefe village, or as the Gbagi call it here, the Godape village in Nasarawa State, wait on the government to provide them with basic amenities, at least for this Christmas, they have a reason to celebrate a very precious gift, the gift of life. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
Well, in Sudan, church bells rang in Khartoum as the country marked Christmas as a public holiday for the first time in 10 years. Thousands of Sudanese Christians celebrated in the streets of the capital, where they were joined by activists sending a message of coexistence. Celebrations were also held elsewhere in the country, including rebel strongholds in the southern Nuba Mountains. The holiday was announced by Sudan's civilian cabinet, which has spoken about improving religious equality after decades of rule that sidelined minorities. Public Christmas celebrations had been cancelled by former President Omar al-Bashir since the secession of Christian-majority South Sudan in 2011. He was ousted in April after months of protest by a popular movement that advocated for greater equality in Sudan among ethnic and religious groups. Now, food is a key part of Christmas celebrations around the world. In this report, let's see how these sisters, who are of Kenyan and Nigerian origin, behind Nairobi's popular Africa Gourmet Burger joints are doing after leaving their comfortable jobs in the UK. Here's Nairobi Mama Rocks.
Hi, welcome to Mama Rocks.
Study hard, get a good job, work hard at it, and then live happily ever after.
So we're just
That's
about
the
to open in
mantra
next
many
10
young
minutes.
Africans like these sisters, Natalia and Samantha, say is repeated to them as they grow up. 4 years ago, the sisters decided to go maverick and design their own route to success. While both working in the UK, the Kenyan-Nigerian sisters realized that they had an opportunity to create an African brand around the global burger trend. They also knew that their strategic edge would be the use of extensive range of flavors and spices they picked up from their mama as children, as well as leveraging on their blended cultural heritage for unique branding.
We sell gourmet burgers that are influenced by cuisines from across Africa. I think we're the most heavily influenced by West African cuisine because our mother and grandmother are from Nigeria, so we grew up on their cooking. And we wanted to really share West African cooking with the world because we love it. We loved it as we were growing up.
They opened their first outlet, a food truck, in Nairobi in 2015. It was a runway success. The sisters have since opened a second joint, a small quick-aid restaurant also in the heart of Nairobi. They work with 16 staff, most under the ages of 30.
Myself and my sister do not have a culinary background whatsoever. We are not chefs, we're not trained, but we have a very good palate and we have a passion and we have a cause. And at the heart of our brand are its values, yeah? We want it to be authentically African and fun, yeah? And I think those are all messages that have come through in our branding. And I suppose our brand is also about self-expression and we want other people to express themselves. And I feel like we've inspired other young people in Kenya that they can achieve whatever they want to achieve as long as they have the passion and they have the will.
The sisters describe their first restaurant as a fusion of cultures and a celebration of Africa through their medium of food. Customers say that the sisters' flavors and branding are spot on.
What sets Mama Rocks apart from other burger places? Their menu, the copy. I'm a big fan of copy. So just the way they describe the meals, the names for it, and also just like the environment of the place adds flavor, I think, to the food as well.
Other patrons say it's great to have authentic African alternative to Western favorites.
I tend to be a vegetarian and I'm happy that they have veggie burgers. They have options for people like myself. But so far, the drinks here, finally it arrived. But so far, I like the vibe, the service, the energy. It's good to know that we have our African burgers because, you know, burger tends to be a lot more westernized.
Natalia and Samantha are enjoying their initial success, but they say their ultimate goal is to reflect a modern African through food, not the stereotype or traditional African the rest of the world imagines.
Well, I would like to taste that burger. Well, that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Adegoke. Happy Boxing Day.